Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Poppy's Happy Mints turn into nightmare arrest on August 12. Bold and the Beautiful. Katie Logan did what she set out to do. She researched and interrogated those in the know, and got lucky when she ran into her nephew RJ, who spilled everything Luna told him. All those elements added to enough valid evidence to lead her to call the police. In the Monday, August 12 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Chief Baker showed up on Dollar Bill's doorstep and arrested Poppy. What will happen next? There's no doubt about it, Poppy, Romy Park, was played. At this point in this double murder mystery, it still seems too early for the police to arrest the actual culprit. For now, we think Poppy's innocent. Everything seems too easy. Katie, Heather, Tom lined up all the evidence for the police. They showed up and took her in. This isn't the end. Until today's episode, we wondered about the drugs. The police didn't have access to Poppy's Happy Mints. With a warrant to search Poppy's apartment, we thought they might find her mints that way. But no, it turns out that there was a tin of those Happy Mints in the backpack. Check out what happens in Tuesday's B and B here. That means if this is a frame job, which it looks like it is, the person or persons who did it know Poppy well. They knew where to hide Tom's backpack in her apartment, and they were close enough to her to know about the Happy Mints and also to steal the tin from her. Lace them up, and drug Tom, Clint Howard, and Hollis W. Chambers. I and R's Lauralee Bell talks about her B and B crossover here. So far, by Poppy's admission, she was there at El Giardino the night Tom died, but no one has connected to her being there the night that Hollis died, right? So when are the cops going to bring up that point? More importantly, will Bill, Don Diamond, stand by his woman even though she didn't tell him anything about what was happening? After all, he couldn't believe why she didn't come to him after it all started blowing up in her face. He hates being out of the loop, and he loves being the savior. While Katie's one-track mind has been a bit too intense as of late, there's one thing she said that Bill should let sink in big time. He needs to get another paternity test to put this whole baby daddy mess to bed sooner rather than later. Ultimately, it would be great if Poppy did commit the double murders the whole time. Arresting her so early in the game would make a nice red herring. Bill would do everything he could to clear her name and get her out of trouble, and then finding out that she actually did it would be a fun surprise. The sun was shining brightly over Los Angeles as Poppy Sinclair, the vivacious new Forrester Creations intern, strutted down Rodeo Drive with a confident smile. In her hand was a small, intricately designed tin box, her so-called Happy Mints. The mints had quickly become a favorite among her colleagues, who swore that just one would brighten even the dullest day. But as Poppy was about to find out, her little box of joy was about to turn her world upside down. At Forrester Creations, the day started like any other. The elegant office was bustling with activity as models, designers, and executives prepared for the upcoming fashion show. Poppy, ever the bright spark, floated through the halls, offering her Happy Mints to anyone in need of a pick-me-up. Brooke Logan, who was juggling the latest drama with Ridge and the usual chaos of the fashion world, gladly accepted one. Even the ever-skeptical Steffi Forrester couldn't resist Poppy's infectious energy and took a mint. But the day took a dark turn when RJ Forrester, who had been working closely with Poppy, noticed something off. He had always been protective of his family and the company, and something about Poppy's overly cheerful demeanor had never sat right with him. He had overheard a conversation between Poppy and a shady character during a lunch break a few days prior, and his curiosity had gotten the better of him. He decided to do a little investigating on his own. Meanwhile, Poppy's mints were making their rounds. Ridge, who had been in a foul mood all morning, popped one in his mouth and immediately felt a wave of calm wash over him. It was almost too good to be true. But as the day wore on, several of the Forrester staff began to feel strange. Their moods shifted dramatically, and there was a sense of unease that permeated the office. Brooke felt lightheaded, and Steffi became uncharacteristically paranoid. Even the usually level-headed Eric Forrester found himself on edge. RJ, now suspicious of Poppy's Happy Mints, decided to confront her. He waited until she was alone in one of the design rooms, carefully sketching out a new pattern. With a steely determination, he approached her. "Poppy, we need to talk," RJ said, his voice low and serious. Poppy looked up, her smile faltering slightly at the intensity in his eyes. "Sure, RJ, what's up?" RJ didn't waste any time. "What's in those mints you've been handing out?" Poppy blinked, surprised by the question. "What do you mean?" "They're just herbal mints, nothing harmful." "Why?" "Are you sure about that?" RJ pressed. "Because people around here are acting really strange after taking them." Poppy's expression darkened as she realized where this was heading. "RJ, I swear, I would never do anything to hurt anyone here. I just wanted to help people relax, you know." But RJ wasn't convinced. "I overheard you talking to someone the other day. You seemed nervous. Is there something you're not telling us?" Poppy's eyes filled with tears as she struggled to find the right words. I didn't think it was a big deal. My friend gave them to me. She said they were just a little stronger than normal, but completely safe. I didn't know." Before Poppy could finish, the door burst open, and 2 uniformed police officers stepped into the room. RJ's heart sank as he realized what was happening. Poppy was about to be arrested, and he had unknowingly set the wheels in motion. "Poppy Sinclair?" one of the officers asked, his tone professional but firm. Poppy nodded, her face pale. "Yes, that's me." "You're under arrest for the possession and distribution of a controlled substance," the officer continued, pulling out a pair of handcuffs. "You have the right to remain silent." Poppy's world crumbled as the officer cuffed her wrists behind her back. The cheerful, carefree life she had built at Forrester Creations shattered in an instant. She looked at RJ, her eyes pleading for understanding. "RJ, please, you have to believe me. I didn't know." But RJ could only watch in horror as the officers led Poppy out of the building. The entire Forrester staff had gathered in the hallway, shocked and confused by the scene unfolding before them. Brooke clutched Ridge's arm, her mind racing with questions. Steffi exchanged a worried glance with Hope, who was holding her son close, shielding him from the chaos. As the police escorted Poppy out of the building and into the back of a squad car, the gravity of the situation began to sink in. The Happy Mints, once a symbol of light-hearted fun, had become a nightmare. Poppy's friend had lied to her about their contents, and now she was paying the price. Back at Forrester Creations, the atmosphere was tense. RJ felt a crushing weight of guilt settle over him. He had been right to be suspicious, but the outcome was far worse than he had anticipated. He wondered if there was anything he could have done differently, anything that could have prevented Poppy's downfall. Meanwhile, the effects of the Happy Mints were starting to wear off. Brooke, Steffi, and the others began to regain their composure, though the lingering effects of the mints left them feeling uneasy. Ridge, ever the protector, vowed to get to the bottom of what had happened. He wasn't about to let some outsider come in and wreak havoc on his family and his company. As the sun set over Los Angeles, Poppy sat alone in a cold, dimly lit cell, her mind racing with fear and regret. She had trusted the wrong person, and now her life was in shambles. The dream job at Forrester Creations, the friendships she had made, the future she had envisioned, it was all slipping away. But Poppy wasn't one to give up easily. She knew she had made a terrible mistake, but she also knew she had to fight to clear her name. There was still hope, a glimmer of light in the darkness, and as she stared out of the small, barred window in her cell, Poppy made a silent vow: she would make things right, no matter what it took. Back at Forrester Creations, the fallout from Poppy's arrest was only just beginning. The fashion world was ruthless, and scandals like this had a way of spreading like wildfire. The Forresters would have to brace themselves for the storm that was about to hit, and RJ knew he had a role to play in making things right. But as the night grew darker, one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same at Forrester Creations.